report has come out that Masai Ujiri has gone overseas to scout Victor Wembanyama personally. And that has led a few Raptors fans to speculate on whether or not the Raptors are going to go into more of a rebuilding direction, at least for this season. So we'll discuss that as well as the odds makers. Vegas has come out and indicated that OG Anunoby is the most likely Toronto Raptor to get moved. So we'll discuss that update as well. There's more reports linking the Toronto Raptors to Myles Turner and a former Toronto Raptor signing with the Miami Heat's G League affiliate. So lots of stuff to break down in this video. Let's dive in the first topic of discussion. The first thing we're taking a look at is Masai Ujiri scouting Victor Wembanyama in France. Now, Victor Wembanyama, he is a generational prospect. He's a guy that literally any NBA franchise would like to pick up. And it's led a lot of teams, the tanks have been going crazy this season for a few NBA teams, trying to win the Victor Wembanyama sweepstakes. And now, report has come out that Masai Ujiri, and several NBA scouts have gone over to watch Victor Wembanyama this Monday. So they've came to watch Victor Wembanyama this Monday. So that's coming from a French publication. I won't try to speak my French there. I tried to read it from, translate it there directly on this video. But basically, Masai Ujiri has gone overseas to give a good look, see what what all the hype is all about in regards to Victor Wembanyama. And there's a lot of hype. There's a lot of skill in terms of this guy. If you look at his stats for the season, for people that don't know, right, 22 points per game, averaging close to 10 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 blocks a night. He can shoot the three. He's taken 5 3-point attempts a game. Maybe not the most efficient, but the fact that he's shooting them at a 7'4" frame and doing all that on top of it is pretty remarkable. He's quick. He's nimble. You watch highlights of the guy. He plays, there's a lot of those unicorn-esque players like Kristaps Porzingis or even Chet Holmgren that have a weird sort of motion when they're moving, right? They're kind of stiff, they're kind of tall, and I'm a fan of Stinky Pinky's game and all that sort of stuff, but they're kind of awkward how they play. Victor Wembanyama, at least from the highlights, from the clips, from the games I've seen, not as smooth, but he's closer to a Kevin Durant in terms of his body movements than a Kristaps Porzingis. He just has great finesse with the basketball, and his height, his frame, his athleticism, it's paired alongside all of that skill, makes him a very intriguing prospect. And now, the fact that Masai Ujiri's directly gone overseas to watch him, view him personally, has led some Raptors fans to speculate on whether or not the Raptors might go into a tanking direction, given how tumultuous this season has been this year. And I'm not reading deep into any of that. I think Masai Ujiri's just doing his due diligence, and what he sees could potentially impact how far the Raptors might potentially go in terms of a tanking approach, but I don't think it indicates that it's a surefire thing the Raptors are going to be tanking, that Masai Ujiri watched him personally or anything like that. But maybe I'm not reading too much into it, but would be an exciting piece to pick up in the draft this year if the Raptors could land Victor Wembanyama. But if it means giving away too many assets, then I'm not sold on going in that tanking direction. Plus, it's not even a guaranteed thing. So we'll see what the Raptors end up doing ahead of this trade deadline. But the next thing we have to take a look at in this video is OG Anunoby being the most likely Toronto Raptor to be traded per Vegas. Now, OG Anunoby is a guy, he's a fan favorite for the Toronto Raptors. He's a dude that I see very few people, especially this season, wanting to be dealt. And I brought it up on live streams how the aura, it feels a little bit weird. There's a weird feeling deep inside my stomach that I have a sense that OG Anunoby could potentially be moved, even though I don't really want to see it happen. And now we have reports. We've had minor reports indicating what the Raptors' asking price is, which would be a massive haul, as we discussed in a recent video. But now reports have come out that, OG Anunoby has become the Raptors' most likely trade candidate, according to Vegas. So the odds makers have come out and basically plagued OG Anunoby as the most likely guy to get traded on the Toronto Raptors. And I've locked it in. I've made the prediction that I think a lot of Raptors fans have, that the Toronto Raptors will end up making a trade. And emotions aside, right, my love of OG Anunoby aside, this would be the optimal time to trade him, at least looking at the past of his career. He could definitely take steps up and, make the Raptors look foolish for trading him right now. But OG Anunoby's a guy that's taken a massive step forward this season. He's not dealing with any injuries, which he's definitely sustained over the course of his career. And the Raptors are at a crossroads right now, whether they want to tank, whether they want to win now. And while OG Anunoby could help out this team in the future, because he's not old by any means, but still has that veteran presence, he'd help this team in that front. But he could potentially net back the Toronto Raptors a lot of assets, right? Zach Lowe came out and compared his trade value in the open market to a Donovan Mitchell-esque package. That's been not agreed upon by other NBA analysis, but multiple first-round picks could definitely be coming back to the Toronto Raptors, at least 2 in an OG package, plus some young guys. You know, this summer, the Blazers wouldn't accept a package for the top 7 pick in Shaedon Sharpe, another future first, as well as Josh Hart. That was the Raptors' sort of asking price, according to reports from the Portland Trail Blazers. They want to go in the direction of just the lottery pick and maybe Nasir Little. But if that was the asking price for the Toronto Raptors this summer, I'd imagine it's even higher now at this point, because OG Anunoby this season has been putting up ridiculous stats. 18 points per game, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 2.2 steals a night, almost a block a game. His 3-point percentage is getting up to where it's usually been over the course of his career at roughly 37% right now. He's efficient from the field. He's slashing. He's doing everything you'd want out of, a complementary player, which means he could fit in with literally any NBA team. So his value will be extremely high. There's already been reports coming out saying that pretty well every team would be interested in OG Anunoby if he's explicitly shopped. And the Raptors don't seem to be throwing people out on the market, at least publicly, at least what the reporters have been saying. But the Vegas bookies, the odds makers, we've neglected them in the past, but they got that insider info, right? What is it? We always bring up on this podcast, so Riker and I neglected the Kawhi Leonard going to the Toronto Raptors is the most likely destination. We kind of wrote it off on these videos saying it's nonsense, what's really going on. We made a whole video about how LaMarcus Aldridge is more likely to come to the Raptors than Kawhi Leonard. And then 3 days later, we end up acquiring Kawhi. So I tend to throw that trust ever since that moment into these bookies, especially with these trade scenarios. But let me know what you guys think about a potential package, a potential deal. But if you do want to bet, throw some bets down on anything involving the Toronto Raptors, definitely check out the Coolbet app. They're a sports book that is regulated in Ontario. They're available all across Canada. And you can bet on any single Toronto Raptors game. You can bet on any single NBA game, any sport really in general. And the Toronto Raptors, they've been winning a couple games as of late, so if you want to throw some money on the Toronto Raptors, I mean, they play the Charlotte Hornets tonight, and, things are looking good for the Toronto Raptors, right? They got some better odds. You can make a few bucks on winning against the Charlotte Hornets. They're +8 in this game, so there's that. There's a couple lines you can bet on specific players as well. If you want to bet on, I know he's betting on himself. Fred's probably taking this line, but Fred VanVleet over total assists, at 7.5. You can bet on those. Pascal Siakam stats. Goody's always betting along with the prop bets in the live watch-alongs. But definitely go to the Coolbet app if you're interested in sports betting. And if you want to make predictions with the Raptors Digest, let us know. Send us a screenshot. We'll add you to our Discord to get boosted odds so you get more bang for your buck. And you can pick those boosted odds, right? Get those better deals as well as ride with the Raptors Digest. So appreciate everyone checking out using the link down below. But the next thing we're taking a look at in this video is more reports linking the Toronto Raptors to Myles Turner. Now, Myles Turner's a name that's been thrown around Toronto Raptors conversations forever. Even this season, we brought it up in multiple videos, but a report has come out that the Indiana Pacers, if they don't come to a contract extension with Myles Turner ahead of this trade deadline, he's likely going to be dealt. He's likely going to be moving on from Indiana finally, after he's requested trades, after the Pacers have been shopping him for basically 3 seasons. But the Raptors have continuously been tied to him, and we have more reports coming out indicating this is the case. As coming from Jake Fisher, if Turner's contract talks ultimately stall, New York and Toronto have registered interest in recent transaction cycles. Jake Fisher of Yahoo Sports, he's with Yahoo Sports now. But the Knicks hold a trove of first-round picks and capital to spend, although recent performance from Mitchell Robinson may quell any of New York's attempts to upgrade the frontcourt. The Clippers remain a legitimate suitor for Turner as well, according to the sources have told Yahoo Sports. So that's interesting. Obviously, the New York Knicks have all those picks. Mitchell Robinson's kind of an injury risk, so maybe they'd want to bolster their front court, but Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson, they've been pretty solid. They might want to get rid of Obi Toppin. Pacers and the Knicks always end up making trades as well, so that could potentially be a competitor the Raptors are competing with if they want to acquire Myles Turner, and the Clippers desperately need some front court help, so potentially the LA Clippers, they could be going at it. But Myles Turner's a guy, for people that don't know, his stats have been remarkable this season. 17 points per game, 8 rebounds. How many blocks? 2.3 blocks, 1.5 assists. He knocks down the 3 ball at the center position. And yes, he's not the most switchable defender. Yes, there's question marks, even though he's a rim protector. He's kind of exactly what the Toronto Raptors needs, as he provides shooting and rim protection. So, if the Raptors can get him at not the most lucrative of prices, I mean, I'm not giving up OG Anunoby just straight up for Myles Turner, but if we could get him for a not insane price, I'd like to bring Myles Turner in. But obviously, re-signing him, ensuring that you're going to pay him long-term is a key, and the Raptors have a lot of players on the books. So Masai Ujiri would have to navigate that situation tightly, but we'll see what ends up happening on that front. But the final thing we're discussing in this video is former Toronto Raptors signs with the Miami Heat's G League team. Now, Justin Champagnie, he's a guy, at least a fan favorite on the Raptors Digest podcast. I really liked his game. Asked his way out, get to play the Champagne coffee
all right,
animation while, before I remove it from the queue, from the stream deck. But Justin Champagnie is a guy that I really enjoyed, but ended up getting cut from the Toronto Raptors a couple weeks ago. But he ended up landing on his feet at least a little bit, as news came out that today that the Skyforce have acquired Justin Champagnie, and that's the Miami Heat's G League affiliate, according to this article. So, I'm happy for Justin Champagnie that he landed on his feet. I think he's going to have a legitimate NBA career. Unfortunately, it didn't work out with the Toronto Raptors. He asked to be freed, and now he's free to go to another team that's known for developing talent. So we'll see what ends up happening. But folks, you guys are the best to make it this far. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Sign up for CoolBet down below. It helps us out big time. But you guys are the best. I'm signing out. Cheers.